so it automatically ignores null value, right?
Average but if you are breaking it by dimensions, then you might face a problem,
Yeah, okay. But
right?
in pivot tables, it ignores blank value, right?
It ignores blank values for your aggregation metric, but it does not ignore when you are breaking it by dimensions. So there might be some trouble there. You can
Okay,
just do a quality check there. Okay, if you are breaking it by dimensions, is it calculating all the non values or not? Right?
okay, sure, sir. Thank
Pivot
you.
tables, anyway, we will discuss next week.
Okay, sure,
Right?
sir. Thank you.
Thanks. But good question. Even though it wasn't valid, but a good attempt at solving the problem. Arun. Yes, Anuja?
Hello, sir. Sorry to interrupt, but there was some issue with the meeting link, so some folk just joined the call. So could you please just give an overview that what was discussed?
Is it? Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Yes, so we haven't started the session, the content for today, and what we were discussing was uh, about our CSAT score ka milestone. So Arun had a question that because CSAT is not there in all the entries, what should we do? Should we use some other metric or not? Or should we ignore all the null values? Right? So the answer to that is you should remove all the null entries for CSAT when you are evaluating CSAT, anything on it. But if you want to do an overall uh, analysis of what is the response or what is the demographics of your people who responded. So if you want to see in which city did they respond, or what is the general trend of or distribution of sentiment, that you can do at an overall level, right? But if you are calculating anything or breaking down CSAT by any dimension, that time you need to ignore all the null values in CSAT, right? So in 90% of your analysis should be done with removing CSAT. You can't use any other column as a proxy to CSAT. You can't impute values or superimpose values which are null. I hope this is clear, everyone.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. And now, since others have joined, any questions on whatever we discussed last time? Anyone practiced? Anyone revisited the formulae, whatever we discussed? Or any thoughts in general? If you haven't, please try out, take out some time, do some practice of the questions we have covered or the use cases we have covered, because as you go further in this data analytics fellowship, you will come across more and more concepts, more and more type of questions. So if you don't revise anything from before, you will forget. Okay. Now, because Excel will conclude in the next two sessions, right? After that, you will have SQL. After that, you will have Python, Tableau, something on AI as well, I think. So if you don't revisit Excel when Excel is being taught and you try to revisit it much later, it will take you much more time to uh, recall what all was done, right? So that is why do take out some time to practice hands-on, right? Just you looking at the video won't help. Okay. Okay.
I just have a small query. So, uh, हमारा there was a practice session after the call. So in that we saw a Excel sheet where there were the requirement was like standardizing the data for date column, and the date column had multiple different kind of formats of the
Hmm.
date, and we had to like define one format. So I I tried to like figure out how we can do that. I tried googling it and other process, but I couldn't find a like a standard way to achieve that. So there was
Hmm.
like if there is like 15 March, some date, some year, then there were March 14 and some year, and somewhere it was numerical only.
Mhm.
Somewhere there were MMDDYY and then DDMMYY in that format. So multiple formats. So is there a s- way to format all the column values in one go? Is do we have to uh, well, or do we have to do it one by one? Define like if there is this format, then we place it, we convert it in that format.
See, there are two approaches to it. One, a little more manual, but might save a lot of time, is that you select the entire column and change it on the basis of the date functions directly.
Okay.
Right? That is one way. The
Hmm.
other way is if majority of your values or some values are in string format, then you
Hmm.
will have to use formula. And there
Okay.
is no set structure because there can be 20 ways to
Hmm.
represent the date, right?
Right.
So it has to be a customized solution that you create,
Hmm.
right?
Okay.
UK versus US ka way
Huh.
of representing is different. Long date versus short date is different. So there is no set formula you can use. Unfortunately, you'll
Hmm.
have to see whatever views you have, whatever data you have.
Hmm.
Is there anything which is like if there are 100 rows in 10 rows, it is
Hmm.
mentioned only MMM then followed by date and so
Hmm.
on. So in those scenarios, you will have to create a customized formula.
Right. Okay. So I also found that they were the Google was suggesting that first define on one format of date, then it was trying to convert every column value to string, and then it was trying to format it into like converting slashes and dashes uh,
Mhm.
to some standard, like if you want slashes or if you want dashes, to that value, and then it was converting it to a specific date format that was identified. So this was being chosen
Hmm.
as a
Isn't it a more complex
right.
and
So that is why
hmm,
my query, like, uh, do we, or also in real time, do we get such data that there are multiple date formats?
you
uh,
can actually you can get inputs like this
hmm,
because like I said last time, you have no control on how and by whom the data has been prepared,
got
right?
it.
There
Okay.
is a separate data engineering team. They might
Hmm, hmm, hmm,
not
hmm.
have any checks and balances in place and so on,
Right.
right?
Okay.
So right now in my company, the project I'm working in,
Hmm,
the data engineer who was working with me, he left, and
hmm,
there was some layoff there, so he had to leave in between, right?
right.
So the new data engineer who has come to prepare data, she
Hmm,
is a little lost. Okay, where is this date coming from? Where is this
hmm,
field coming from? So we are having to standardize and quality check 4 times, right?
right.
So that
Okay.
is slightly painful, of course, right? So
Understood.
we are having to do the same thing, that all
Got it.
columns are standardized or not. If we are retrieving data from 3 tables,
Hmm,
are the
hmm.
fields in the same format in
Right.
the raw
Right.
data, right? So it can
That's
happen
it can
always.
happen. Okay. Right. Got it. Yeah. Thank you. Please
Yeah, so
continue.
in more established companies, it usually doesn't happen. It is a phenomenon of startups where everything is created uh, very quickly. So it also
Yeah.
depends on
Yeah.
what practices are being followed by the
Right.
company or the data engineering team as a whole. Right?
All right. Okay.
Okay.
Got it. Thank you.
If there's nothing else, we can start. Let me know if you're able to see my screen. Okay. So today we will cover some lookup functions. We will do one exercise on a complex formula. We will do VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, index match, followed by XLOOKUP. And in the second session, in addition to XLOOKUP, we will do what if analysis, conditional formatting. So a lot of individual small topics we will cover today. And if time permits, we can discuss a little bit more about your milestone. We have discussed some of it, but if time permits, we'll discuss again. Okay. Right. So for majority of our uh, analysis and functions, we will be using this data set. It is about IMDb top rated movies, right? So a relatively small data set, only 250 entries and around 11, 12 columns, right? So the values are sorted in descending order. Shawshank Redemption, you might know, is the best rated movie of all time, at least till a couple of years back. I don't know if it has been replaced. So you can do one fun activity where you can check out of 250 how many you have watched. Okay. Now, understanding this data set, very simple. I'll go through it quickly. We have the movie name. We have the average rating out of 10. So the score is, the customer has given a score between 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest. So this is the simple average of the rating given by users. We have release date, when the movie was released, budget, what was the cost of making the movie, followed by the domestic market where the movie had its primary market. So there can be some movies which primarily released in India, Asia, China versus US, Canada, Europe, etc. Then we have domestic gross, the box office collection in the domestic market for the movie. Ignore column H, unnecessary column. Domestic weekend is the box office collection during the weekend for the movie. Column J is count of ratings, the number of ratings which were given. So 2 million users gave an average rating of 9.3, right? And in the last column, we have the worldwide gross. What was the overall box office collection for the movie, right? This is very simple at an overall level. Let me know if there are any questions, right? Very simple data set, right? Okay. Now, if you would have seen, release date is in string format, right?
Right.
So if I were to do any analysis on what is the average rating of movies released before the year 2000, right? How will I do it? It is not possible to do it in the current format. So I will have to change this string format into year. Okay, because month and day of the month is not mentioned in a couple of cases. So I will just convert this into year, release year. So can anyone tell me how I can do that? What approach can we follow? Essentially,
We have an year formula for it.
hmm,
We have an year formula for it, I guess, in Excel.
year. But year
Yeah.
doesn't work for string inputs. It only works when your date is actually in a date format.
So can we change it first into date format and then year format?
Okay, a value like this, you can't directly change into date format because it has India as well at the end. No date function will accept this input.
We can split the release date into by spaces and then we can extract the year value.
We will split this into spaces.
By spaces, like October is in one column, 14 is the other column, and 1994 in another column.
Okay.
But
Hmm.
then there will be problem with 1978 India.
And this as well. United States has another extra space in between.
Yes.
Okay, what else?
We can also use a flash fill function in this.
Yes. Okay. I would have come to that later, but yes, you're right, Manish. So if you see in this example, there are two different types of inputs. One is when you have the month first, followed by date, followed by the year. Second, you have just the uh, year followed by the country, right? You can also check whether there are different types of format, but mostly it is only these two, right? One which I have colored in blue, and the second which I have covered in this whatever color it is, orange, right? So two different types of inputs are there. So one very quick way is to give the actual output for both. That October 14, 1994 India, my if the format is format 1, my output should be 1994. If the value is like this, then my output should be 1978. Okay. Once you do that, you can simply press Control E. Okay. So Excel will understand कि okay, यहाँ पे I have to create this formula where, and in the second format I have to perform this operation, right? So this is one manual quick way to perform this, right? Is this clear? Thanks, Manish. This is one way, but in this approach you don't understand what is happening at the back end, right? What is Excel doing to come to this number, correct? If I were to use the logical approach, or I need to create a formula to handle this, how can we do it? We will get this parenthesis, okay? But right function will only give us the rightmost values, no? Hmm. 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 That can also work.
Can we
That
press the control first, and then the dialog box will open and we go to the custom and then uh, change the format? Like if we have to take the year, then
the format changing will not work in this because it is string, no?
yeah.
But Prem, what you mentioned can be one alternative. It is slightly more complex because what if there are two parentheses, then we might run into a problem, right? So that, but we will try out if time permits your approach. That is also a fair approach. Okay. Yes. Anyone else?
No, Sahil, I just wanted to, if you could repeat the what Manish mentioned, the method again. I couldn't understand it.
What Manish was saying, that we can split this into different parts and convert, instead of using string, we convert it into a date type of a format and then do it. But those functions won't work for this input because it is string.
Not what the one he told right now. Before that,
He's
that was
talking about
what
the
I was.
flash.
Yeah.
Flash fill.
Yeah.
Acha. So flash fill mein, if you remember from last time, if I have an input I can directly give the output what I want. That for this format, I want the output like this 1994. And for this type of a format, I need an output like this. Okay, so in
Got
this
it.
situation, only two unique formats I have been able to identify. So dono ka I give, if format is number one, I will the output should be this. If format number two, output should be this. So once I have done that, I can simply do Control E. Doing pressing Control E will do a flash fill that it is able to understand. Okay, if this was the scenario, you have used Formula One. If this is the scenario, you have used again Formula One. If the input is like this, then use Formula Two, like that. And in order to enable flash fill, we need to go to File, More, Options, Advanced, and check automatically flash. So
Okay,
this
and
will
is
enable.
this method wrong, or you're
This
telling that
method, this method is correct.
okay,
There is no problem output wise. But if we were to understand what even Excel did at the back end, how did it figure out that what is the exact usage of the formulas or functions, right? Or if we were to create a function on our own, if we were asked in an interview, how do you fix this? We can't say flash fill, right?
got it,
The
got it.
logic we didn't create, right? So if we are to create the logic, what we can do, Prem has also shared one approach which might work, but it is on the face of it, I feel it is slightly more tricky, but we can try out if time permits. Okay.
So can we use, since these are all strings, can we use some regex kind of function to figure out a 4-digit number from it, and we can extract that?
Yeah, regex, I don't know it will work here or not.
I'm also not sure that
Hmm.
regex is available here, but
I haven't seen it. Hmm.
since it's a string, we can like figure out uh, number starting or number format, 4-digit number from that,
Hmm.
something like that.
We can, but regex is again a different ball game, and you will
Right,
have to go
right,
somewhere else and not do it in Excel.
right. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll share the approach with you. This is a step-by-step process for this. Okay. So the first step is to identify the different types of input which we have, two in this case, format one, format two. The second is identify the logic for both the inputs, right? So for both the formats, we will create one logic each. Okay. So as an example, for this format, how can we extract the year? What function can we use? Right now, I am just handling one input type at a time. Okay.
So from left, we can count up to
Very
4
simple.
places.
Yes. Left, text, number of characters, 4. Correct? Very simple. So the second step is, first step, identify the different types of input. Second step is identify the logic for each of them. So we have identified the logic for the first one. What about the second one? How can we extract year from here?
So find out the comma
Hmm.
and then 5 place values after that.
Yes. Anyone else? Any other thought approaches? This is fair, right? How can we extract year from here? We will first get the position of comma, then we will add 2 to it, and then we can use mid. है ना? So if I say mid, text, starting number is whatever I have to calculate now. So I'll keep it blank for now. Number of characters is 4. Correct? This is the approach. And instead of giving a static number, I will use one function which we had discussed last time called find. Okay, find me. What will I find? Within O2, sorry, I will find comma within the text O2, right? So I haven't adjusted for the position. So right now it is starting from this comma 1, 2, 3, 4. That is why it is giving comma space 1, 9. So if I just add 2 to it, I will be able to get the correct year. This is clear?
Right.
No, Harshit, please explain it one more time.
Okay. My name is Sahil. Okay. I've
Sorry.
logged in from Harshit's account. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So what do we need to do? We need to calculate or extract something from the middle of the string. So of course we will be using the mid function. Correct? Mid mein, what all inputs do we need to give? Text. What is the starting number? And what is the number of characters we will extract? So number of characters we will extract is 4. Correct? This position I need to evaluate. How can I get the position? Clear so far, Nida?
Yeah, we have started from mid, and then the number we want, which has a length of 4. This is what we have done till now.
So 13 is the actual position where 1994 is starting. So instead of giving the actual value, because it will vary as I go into multiple columns, into multiple values. So I need to create a dynamic function which will automatically get the position where I need to start. Okay. So what will I find? I'm finding comma. Whenever I'm getting comma within O2, okay. Whenever
Okay.
I get a comma here, I want to start from there and extract 4 characters. But comma will start from here. But I want to start from 2 positions after this. So I will simply add a +2 here. Right? Doing this will start the mid function from this one and extract 4 characters like we have given here.
Okay, but we have only one position, the space, comma,
No,
and then
comma.
space.
What will find give? Find comma will give us the position of this comma, right?
Okay.
But 1994 starts 1, 2 places after comma. There is a space as well, right? If I do only 1, what will happen? It will start from this space, correct?
Okay, clear.
Right. Clear, everyone? Anudev, Christina, Tanish, Dimple,
Yeah.
Ananya, Tanish. Sorry,
Yeah, actually, that's
Tushar.
clear. Also, could you repeat that 1978? Just show, display the formula, how it's done. Like,
Sahil, there
yeah,
is
just
one
displaying the
thing.
formula you do.
Can you see?
Okay, once again.
Hello, Sahil, can we use a delimiter for this?
Delimiter? How? You
Uh,
means we split it into
yes,
multiple.
like there is a comma there, so by this we can bifurcate it.
We can do that, but that will result in adding more columns to our raw data. We can do it, but it is considered as a manual approach. अगर वो करना ही है तो we use flash fill directly, no?
Okay.
Who had asked that question? You are clear on this formula, the second formula?
Yes, I'm good. Thank you. Yes.
All right. Now we have completed step 2 to this. We will come to step 3. How will we identify or how will we distinguish between formula 1 and 2? Now we have formula 1 and 2 separately. We need to merge the two into one single formula. Right? How can we do that? What is the difference between the two? type of inputs, this and this. What is the difference? One has a comma, the second one does not have a comma, right? So we can use comma as the differentiating factor between the two formats. Okay. Now, if you remember, search and find functions, if they are not able to find what you are looking for, they will give you an error. But if you are able to find whatever you are searching in comma, in this case, it will give you the position. You remember? If I try to get find comma from this, what will be the output? Error. But if I actually get something, or if I use this formula in this second type of our input, it will give me an actual integer value. So I can use this functionality of find to distinguish between the two. If I am finding comma and I am getting an error, use formula 2. If I am actually getting a comma in my string, use formula 1. Is this clear?
Yep.
Yes.
Others, Pallavi, Abhay, Apurva, Kavya.
Yes, Sahil, can you show me the formula which we are using as a symbol where we need to use the formula 1 and 2 on the row
I
number
haven't
6?
written it. I haven't written it yet, but I was
Okay.
just sharing the approach. Okay.
Yeah, got it.
What is the approach? If we actually get comma in the string, or if the output of find find comma, if we actually find it, use formula 1. Otherwise, use formula 2. Okay. Now, there is one more function. It is called isNumber. Okay. What does isNumber do? If the value is a number, is an integer, it will give true. If it is not an integer, it will give false. So if you see these two, if I say equal to isNumber, this will give us false, but the next one will give us true. Clear? Another function to keep in mind in our final formula. Okay, now combining all of this together, that formula 1, 2 I am searching for comma. If I'm able to find it, isNumber will give output true. If I'm not able to find it, isNumber will give output false. Okay, so this is our final formula. Start from here. Okay, if isNumber, when you do a find of comma, when you are finding comma, right, and the output of this is actually a number, okay, then use formula 1. Otherwise, use formula 2. Okay, what I'm saying, if I'm searching for comma in my string and using the find function, I'm able to get a comma. What will happen? I will get a number. Okay. If the output is a number, if the output is a number, use formula 1. This is formula 1. We have already discussed this. If the output of this is not a number, or if I am not able to find the comma, use formula 2. The last thing is, whatever I get as the output here is in a string format again. That I will convert into number using number value. So prima facie, looking at the formula, it seems very complex, but if you understand the approach, what all steps we have followed, it will be simple to understand. Is this clear, everyone?
Yes.
Yes.
What about others, non-video people?
I have one doubt.
Yes.
Here there are no in all the columns you have only two types of no, date formats. What if there are more number?
Yes, we'll come to that. We'll come to that.
Okay.
Very good question.
Okay.
But whatever we have done so far, is that understood by everyone, Darshan?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, just a thing like, can we use error if saying that because anyways that value hash value is an error. So error ifs with the two formulas should work with the same
Yes,
way,
we
right?
can use error if as well, but when I tried using it, I wasn't getting the desired result at that point. But you can try out, Darshan.
Okay.
Right. As I said, there is no one correct answer. Instead of find, you can use search as well. And we can also think about using Prem's approach. What Prem said, search for the parenthesis and then try to extract. That is also something which can be done potentially. Okay. Now, if this is clear,
Hi,
yes.
sorry. Yeah, what is number value doing here?
Number value just converting the string into a numerical format.
Got it.
Because string को आप extract करके if you are whatever you are doing, the output is in a string format by default. But if you use number value, then it will convert into an integer. Okay, so if you see this one, na, here I haven't used any number value. And if I use this function type, so the output will be, I don't know what it is. Okay, some other function maybe. Value. Field value. Let me see. Equal to type. This is the is number. I think one means it is integer, but anyway, whatever, if I don't use is number, I will again be left with the string, and then I can't use greater than, less than, all of those filters. Okay.
Wait, so is number is checking if it is a number or not.
Achha, is number. Okay.
No,
okay.
I'm just trying to understand the logic. Is number is trying to understand if it's a number or not after extracting the value. Then it is, we have put an if filter. If that it has a comma, then extract this. If it doesn't have, extract this. Then again we have put a number value. It is already checking if it's a number, but again why the number value? Yeah.
But is number is the output of this find function. This is number, whether the output is a numeric value or not. Right? But this number value is converting whatever you are getting from here into numeric. Two different objectives. Here we are trying to see whether we use formula 1 or 2. Here we have already extracted 1994 from here. We are converting it into a numeric value. यहाँ पे तो it is just being used to get whether the output here is true or false. Comma मिला के नहीं, true or false, right? Two different functions, two different objectives. Clear? Rohan?
Yeah, but I'm still having doubts.
Tell me.
No, I'm not able to wrap my head around this. Okay. Just could you explain the formula as a whole once more?
My screen is visible?
Yeah, there's a black line across the screen. Right?
Is it?
I don't know if it's just for me.
Now?
No, it's for me also. One header is coming like a black.
But are you able to view the formula and all, or?
Formula can be seen, but on the half number value is missing and it is starting from if. Could you reshare, Sahil?
1 second. I fear the Zoom issue has started again. Are you able to see now?
No.
Is it visible?
No.
Acha. Let me rejoin then. Leave meeting. Who should I make the Nida, you will please, when I try to join back, please approve. Okay.
Sure, Sahil, I will.
Sorry. I have tried everything. The last thing left is just changing my laptop, but I don't have an alternative to that right now.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
fine.
Okay. Yes. So, do you want me to explain the complete formula again? Darshan, you were asking.
Rohan, I was asking.
Okay, so we'll cover it again once more. Okay, you are clear with this approach. This is formula number 1. This is formula number 2, which we had calculated individually. है ना? I hope
Yeah, I
this part
understand.
is clear.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the only thing we have to do right now is to understand whether we use formula 1 or formula 2. I need to handle for this. That if the format is like this, use formula 1. If the format is like this, use formula 2. Let me increase the size also a little bit. Okay. So now, whether to use this formula or this formula in our approach and create a dynamic. So I can extend this formula till the end. Okay. So what I'm saying is I will try to, what is the difference between the two? One has a comma, the other one does not have a comma. Clear? So I will say find comma in my string. If I am getting a comma, what will this function do? It will give its position. What find does, if it is able to find what you're searching for, it will give its position as the output, right?
Yeah, okay.
So I'm saying if the output of this find function is a number, okay? If the output of this find function is a number, use formula 1, otherwise use formula 2. And whatever we are getting from this, you convert it into a number value. Is this clear?
Understood.
So you will get an even better hang of it if you try to do it on your own. Try to create the formula by yourself once. Okay? It is very likely that if you are starting, you will get blank for some time. But do try to create this one. Okay? I hope this is clear. Now we have the new number value. So we can use any of our filters or conditions to filter out for greater than 2000 launched years, less than 1980 movies, and so on. Okay? So you will have some more practice questions similar to this, I think. And even today we might discuss.
Sahil, ये true and false वाला formula, can you explain it again? ये जो आपने 14 and 15 में we are able to see the true and false.
So it is this one is number. So if the find what is this find function trying to find a comma? If it in this string it is not able to find a comma, but in this string it is able to find a comma, right? So the output here, मैं बता रहा हूँ. Yes. So the output here is an error. The output here is a numerical value. So if I'm doing is number to this output, it is giving me false. If I'm doing is number to this value, it will give true because it is a numerical value. Clear?
ठीक है, मतलब same formula हम use कर रहे हैं with is number to get the true and false. So if it is true, we can use the formula number 1, and if it is false, then we can use the formula number 2.
Yes.
Okay, is number will give you the value of a number.
Is number will give true or false. Right?
Okay, true and false.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, Sahil, you had a question?
Yes, sir. Uh, in column O, there is two different type of input.
Hmm.
If we have many type of input, तो उसके लिए भी कोई formula?
Now coming to this step. Right now, we were able to identify two different inputs. What if there were more? What if this data set extended to 100,000 rows and 90,000 row ke baad we got a third type of an input, right? What will we do then? We will have to handle the third condition as well. If the condition is something else, कि 1994 एकदम end में है, it is towards the right, then we will have to do, so it will have to be an iterative process. So you can see eventually whatever you are getting here as the output, are you getting the same or 4 length ka number value if you are getting in all the cells, then it is okay. But if these two are not able to fulfill all the conditions, you will have to iterate and create a third formula and merge it again. Sahil. That because it is a customized view, right? Customized input which you are getting. So you'll have to do some iteration. It is possible that there can be a third layer to it. It is possible there can be a fourth layer to it as well.
Correct, but my question is कि अगर यहाँ पे 10 और 15 और 55 और 60 इनपुट हो, सो हम उसे कैसे मतलब ढूंढेंगे फटाफट?
See, 150, what you're saying? Sorry, how will we identify?
Yes, if we have 55 or 60 inputs.
See, if you have 55 or 60 inputs, then it is not a use case which could be solved through Excel. Okay, you will have to use some regex that will go beyond the capabilities of Excel. You can't write 60 conditions, right?
Yep.
But that scenario is very, very rare for inputs like this. But in real time life scenarios, you can maybe get 3 types of input, 4 types of input. So you can think about, compressing them into one formula. Or you can also use 2 formulae. एक में अगर 4 condition आ रही हैं, use another formula, then try to merge the 2. That is also something you can do. But the broader point is it has to be iterative. It is not necessary that you will be able to think of all the, or you will be able to identify all the different types of input in one go. And there is also the question of limitation of Excel. If there are 60 conditions, it is not physically possible to do it in Excel. It will be a very, very long formula, right? Then there are other ways to do it, right? Maybe use some ML, use some regex outside of Excel. If you, God forbid, if you get that type of an input. As input आएंगे तो then so you can say it is corrupt data also. I have seen instances. If there are 10, 12, 15 types of inputs, then the consumer can say, so data analytics, DA and BA, they are consumers of data, right? Data engineering is the provider of data. So if the input data you are getting is broken on so many levels, then you can go give it back to data engineering, create it into one format, then give me the result. Okay, so there becomes some pull push between data engineering and analytics. That can also happen. And I am facing one such condition right now. Data engineering is saying, I will not handle so many use cases. I am saying it is not my GD to handle it. So you give me uncorrupted data first, then I will create any dashboards on it. Okay, an extreme case, but yes, things like this happened. Okay.
This formula looks, although we are able to decode it how this is done, so it looks complex. Do we have any other way apart from it? So how it can be done, or this is the only way that with the help of this only we can get the correct value?
No, like you can either use flash fill, but that will. So the purpose of discussing this formula was in similar scenarios like this, how can you create a logic on your own, right? So what Prem had mentioned, can you try to search for the parentheses and then try to calculate the or extract the last four characters, that is also another potential way. So there is no one correct answer to it. If you feed this question to chat GPT, it might give you multiple solutions as well. This is one correct way to do it. Okay. Yes, Shabana?
Yeah. So formula-wise, everything is clear. So only one question. So currently we have two different inputs. What if there is only one third different inputs somewhere in the middle? Does this series still works there?
So if you were to find, this, okay, my conditions, these two conditions are handling all the inputs or not, right? That is your question, right? So what you can do is, in order to check, you can use something like one is number, that whatever output you are getting here, is it an actual number or not? If it is true in all cases, one quality check is done. The other thing is, you can also check length, that iska length should be equal to 4. So both these conditions, if they are true till the end, it means you have handled all the conditions correctly. Very good question again. Okay. So now, if either of these two flags give you an error, if it is either false or if the output is not equal to 4, then it will mean that you will have to either create another layer on top of your logic, or there is some input error. For example, here, if you see, there is one value not found. अब not found में तो क्या ही कर लोगे आप, right? The value itself is not there. Okay, so you don't need to create any other logic, but this data is not available. Okay, clear, Shabana?
Yeah. Maybe if we work out in person, maybe that would be better.
Okay. Yes, but do try out creating this formula on your own. If you are able to get another alternative, let me know if it is simpler. Okay, I'll also try your method frame if it helps in simplifying this. Good. Okay, very good. Where is it? You shared on chat, is it? एक बार, can you share again? Okay, so Prem has given an alternate approach. So you can try out what this approach does, how it calculates. Okay. But on top of it, you'll have to convert it into number. That is the only, right? Okay. Now I hope everyone is clear. I will share this file with all of you. Now we will move to lookup functions. Okay. No, I hope no other questions. If none, we will move to lookup. Okay. How many of you have worked on VLOOKUP before? Anyone who hasn't worked on VLOOKUP at all?
I haven't. Yeah.
We never work with VLOOKUP.
Okay. I'm just evaluating. Okay, there are a few people who haven't, Archana, Deepika, Vaishali. So we'll cover the basics of VLOOKUP quickly. Okay. Right. Now, let us say we have an input data like this. Let us say we have an input data like this: country, population, and GDP. Okay, only three values we have. We want to extract something specific from here. Let us say I need to extract country and GDP only for India and China. Okay, so this is my raw data. I want to create a customized view where I will pull only the GDP numbers for India and China. This is my use case. From this raw data, I need GDP of only India and China, right? Then I will use VLOOKUP. VLOOKUP means vertical lookup. Vertical lookup will try to match the input string with our raw data and give its attributes. So if someone asks you, how do you define VLOOKUP? So VLOOKUP as a function helps us to match an input string with our input column and give its attributes. Okay. So if I were to calculate the GDP of India, I can see that yahan pe it is this number. But what if this data set had been huge? There had been 100 or 200 countries. Okay, 200 hi hoga abhi to 200 countries. So from there I need to calculate. Then I won't go to each and every cell and eyeball it, right? So I can use VLOOKUP to quickly get any attributes of any country in the list. So how can I do that? The usage is VLOOKUP. The first argument I need to give is this value, which I'm searching for. So I'm searching for the value India, which is in I2. Okay. So first argument is lookup value, what you are searching for. Second argument is the table array you are trying to extract from, right? The third will be in this array, which column number you want to extract. So GDP is in column number 3, column 1, column 2, column 3. So I will say 3. And what type of a match I want to do, whether I want to do an exact match or I want to do an approximate match. Exact match is the one we use in 99% of the use cases. I'll cover when we can use approximate match, but in majority of the cases we use exact match. Exact match means only if the value completely matches, only if the country ka value, this value exactly matches the string here, only then we will get a match. Okay. So 4 arguments. What value you are trying to search for, what is the input array you are searching, what column number you want to extract, and what type of a match you are doing. Is it an approximate or exact match, right? People who are very new to VLOOKUP, Archana, Deepika, Apurva, Tanish, you are able to follow? Let me know if there are any questions whatsoever about understanding of the basic of VLOOKUP. Okay. Okay. Now I want to extend this formula to other cells here. Is this the correct way to do it? Simply drag this down. Let us say US was also here. I will get an error even though US is in my range. What is the error? I have not frozen the cells, right? So I have to freeze $1, sorry. Right? Clear? Yes, Rohan, you're right. Archana, any question? You had mentioned no in the comment. Okay,
So can you repeat this again, please?
Which part?
Because I saw India and GDP is 4, so we find exactly number, na?
Yes. What is the question?
There is 2 function, na? You abstract, what is this? Appropriate match and something another.
Yes.
So
So see, approximate match is when you are not clear of what you are searching for. Approximate match will match the ASCII values of your strings. So it is very error prone. Approximate match is used only when you are not clear on the inputs, or you are not clear on what range of values will your raw input have. So in 99% cases, if you want to match, we will use exact match, which is 0, the last argument. Because it is possible that approximate match, if I use na, US can also be matched with Russia, because Russia also has US in between, right? So approximate match is error prone. Okay, Archana, clear?
Sorry, we have frozen the column that. Uh, what's happening if we don't froze it? Does it change? Doesn't it change to E2? If I
It will change. See, if we don't freeze it, what will happen here? US is in the first row, but
right.
because I have dragged this formula till the end, my range has become E3 to G7.
Okay, got it.
This is null and US is
Yeah,
being missed.
Okay, thank you.
So that is why we will add dollar.
It was about range. That is why we wanted
Yes,
to mention. Yeah,
correct.
okay, got it.
You don't need to freeze this lookup value, because
Right.
anyway you would want it to change when you drag it. Right?
So I think there is a pop-up on your window. Due to that, we are again seeing this line.
Again, black.
Okay. Sorry again.
Maybe you bring forward your Excel window, something like that. Then
Bring forward Excel window. 1 second. No, this is a Zoom ka issue. 1 second.
Okay.
I'll try to share again. Let me know if you're able to see. No?
No.
No.
No, it's
Nida, again, your name is at the top, so please.
Okay.
Okay. I hope everyone is clear with this basic about VLOOKUP. Okay.
yes.
Now, if I want to calculate per population, what can I do? I will insert.
एक क्वेश्चन है साहिल,
Yes.
हमने लुकअप वैल्यूज में लुकअप वैल्यू यूज किया जो कि हमारा था करंट टेबल में I2, उसके बाद हमने यूज किया है E1 which is table array and then colon G5. So G column हो गया, then 5 is coming for the Russia. Why we are using G5 here?
So if you see, okay, one thing, let us keep the conversation in English, please. If someone is not able to understand Hindi, it will be a problem. Okay.
Yeah, sure. Why we are using G5 here? Because if we are talking about the columns, and column will be the G, how we are giving the specific value of the cell.
Okay. So starting, we look up again. We are looking this value. We have to select the array which we are working with. So we will select this array. Right? What is the range of array? It starts with E1 and goes till G5. Right? Whatever our overall raw data is, we have to select that. That is why it starts from E1 and goes to G5.
Okay, so if it's a small table, so if we have a huge table, then also we are going to select the whole table and giving the whole range.
Yes.
Okay.
That you can do it using Control Shift. It will be easy. You can select the entire thing in one go.
Okay, and can you explain that numeric 3? Which
3 is because we need to extract GDP. GDP is in the third column of my raw data, right?
Okay, so we have given the number of the column, not even the name of the column.
Yes, column number. If you see, column index number is the argument name as well.
So
Okay.
column index number, in journal the table start from the A, but here it is on the G. So how the column index number is coming? It is starting from the table where this table is starting from.
It is starting from whatever we have selected in this table array, right? We have selected only 3 columns, right? So that is why it doesn't depend on where our raw data is starting from. Whether it is column E or column A doesn't matter. What I have selected, what is the column number for that range? Okay.
Okay. Is there any way which automatically tell me that this is the column index rather than counting it, because it's a small table, so it's easy to see. If it is a larger table, then how will I identify, or I have to count it manually? Column
Yes,
index number.
very good question. We'll cover it today. Not immediately, but today we will cover it. How can we handle this value? Because if your question is very valid, had this been a table with 50 columns and 1000 rows, then you won't go to every column. Oh, this is the column number 15, 20, 30, right? So prima facie, it is slightly manual, but there are ways to automate this. So you don't have to worry about column number index. We will cover today. Okay.
Okay, and the last question, that the 0 is coming because we are looking for the exact match, and if we are looking for the approx match, it will be 1.
Yes, you can either give 1 0 or you can give true false.
Okay,
0 means false.
Anything will work here.
Yes. Okay. And if I want population, I can do another VLOOKUP. Search for I2 in this range, and I will do 2, 0 because population is in the second column. Okay. Clear? And I will again do a dollar. Okay, we are a little behind schedule. So everyone clear so far? Now, if you look at VLOOKUP, there are some glaring issues which one can find. First, we already discussed, manual column index values have to be inputted by default, right? That is the first limitation to VLOOKUP. Second limitation, and which is the most discussed limitation, is VLOOKUP can only extract columns to the right of the matching column unless you change the raw data. What does this mean? Had there been a column like this, continent, US, Asia, and in my result, I wanted to calculate continent here. By matching country, I cannot use VLOOKUP. Why? Because country has to be matched with the first column of the raw input. Right? If I try to match country with this, but get this column, it will not work. I can't do something like VLOOKUP, this value, search within this, comma 1, 0. Is my screen visible?
Yes, it is visible.
I hope it is not frozen.
Yeah, it's frozen.
It's frozen.
Okay, this is the last session on this laptop. I'll have to change it eventually, but 1 second. Sorry. Yes. So if you are able to see now, continent is to the left of my matching column. Country is my matching column. Continent is to the left of it. I want to extract continent. What can I do? One way is I2 E1 to H5, which is this range, what will I say? 1 comma 0. What will happen here? I will not get an answer. Why? Because this value of India is not present in the first column here, right? So I cannot perform this operation unless I delete the value from here, add this value to a new column to the right. Okay, so VLOOKUP can extract columns only to the right of the matching column unless you change the raw data. Okay, so this is one big limitation of VLOOKUP, right? The next is no default error handling. If we are not able to find the country we are searching for, it will give us an error. So for example, if we are trying to find Sri Lanka, of course it is not there. So I will get a hash and error. Hash and error means in VLOOKUP, whatever value we are trying to search is not available. Okay. Now, the last is for high number of columns. If the number of columns is high, we have to select the entire array, right? So this will reduce the speed. It will increase the compute and your overall file will become very heavy. This is the fourth limitation of VLOOKUP. Okay, clear? We'll move forward quickly. And I hope this is understandable. Everyone is following whatever. Ignore these memes. I don't know why they are here, but yes. Okay, so VLOOKUP will also work cross tab. So if you are in some other tab and your raw data is in another tab, you will be able to use VLOOKUP. So how does it work? If I have to find the budget of the movie Inception. So if you look at our raw data may movie name and budget. Okay. Now if I have to use VLOOKUP, what will I say? Look, VLOOKUP A2 value A2 with go to this tab. I will give the name of the tab and I will do a exclamation point, exclamation mark. So it initializes that tab for VLOOKUP. Then I will select the entire data range A1 to K251. K is the last column, 251 is the last row. Okay. And then I will do 5 comma 0 because budget is in the fifth column, comma 0. Okay. Clear? How we can use cross tab as well. So similar to this, if we have to find the domestic gross of the movie Matrix, we will find this value in this raw data. Domestic gross is in the seventh column, so 7 comma 0 we will get here, right? Similar to this budget, worldwide gross, whatever we want to get, we can get from here directly, right? These are all repetitive questions, rating, count of rating, whatever. It is simple to get, right? You can also try out for people who are very new. I'll share this file. So try out doing this. Okay. Now.
I have one question. After data, would we have used the exclamatory mark?
Yes. To initialize. It means you go to this raw data, this tab, and exclamation mark will initialize that it will able to now get data from this tab.
So that thing we are only using when we are using this function across the tabs.
You can use for this tab also, but it is not required. Okay.
Okay.
Yes, Vaishali, you had a question?
No, sir.
Okay. Right. Now coming to the next part, there is no error handling directly. So in order to, let's say Delhi Belly is not in the top 250 movies, right? So if you do a VLOOKUP, it will throw you an hash and error. In order to overcome this, what you can do is just add an if error condition. That if error, if you find an error by when you are doing VLOOKUP, just do not found. Okay, so whenever it has the hash and a, it does not find this value, it will do not found. Okay, clear? Then again, ABCD part 2 is not here. So you can do if error, bad movie, because it is in the top 250. Okay. You can change this if error ka value output, right? Now this use case. I hope it is clear till now, everyone. No doubts. Very simple. Now, this is a use case where we want to return the release date if the year is before 2000. If the year is before 2000, return the release date. If it is after 2000, return this static value. And if we are not able to find the movie name at all, you say NF. Okay, three conditions we need to fulfill. Okay, so what will we do? Now that we have calculated the release date by using our formula, right? We are able to do this activity. Right, you might be asking, itna we did spend so much time for what? Right, this is the example we needed to discuss. So we have three conditions. If the movie release date is before 2000, so first we will have to, for these movies, we first have to use VLOOKUP to get the year. Okay, year is in column number D. It had been hidden earlier. The movie release date is in column D, year. Okay, so look at this. We are extracting the movie year by this function. What we are saying, we look up A35 in the data tab, A1 to D251. It should be D251. Okay, 51. It can be K251 also. It can be D251 also, because I know already it is only in the column number D. So I can still make do with this. It is slightly more optimized. If I know that the column number is only 4, then why select the entire array? Right? I am selecting only A to D. 4 is the column number and 0 is exact match. So I calculated my year from here. Okay. Now I can use this output as an input of other functions. I can say if my release date is less than 2000, then throw me the actual year. If it is not, are you able to see? If it is not, do post 2000. And if you don't find this value at all, then do if error and not found. Right? So 4 functions are being nested into one formula. And again, on the face of it, this seems very complex, but it is a simple logic what we have created. Right? So don't be overwhelmed when you calculate VLOOKUP and you want to use that same function as an input to other keywords or function in the same formula. Okay. 1 minute. So I'll try one thing. I will not go into the formula. I think it is happening if I am clicking on the formula a lot. That is what I could decipher. I'm not sure if it is correct or not. Okay. So if I'll only hover above the formula like this. Okay. So if error not found is here. Okay. I hope this is clear, everyone. Okay. Now, the exact transpose of VLOOKUP is HLOOKUP. VLOOKUP means vertical lookup. HLOOKUP means horizontal lookup. Okay. How does HLOOKUP work? It is completely transpose. If you see, our use case is find the budget and release date for the movie Shawshank Redemption. Okay. Here, what will I do? I will have to calculate budget and I have to calculate release date. I know the movie Shawshank Redemption. So how will it work? I will look up for this value, budget ka value in my raw data. and I will get the row number. In VLOOKUP, we used to calculate the column number 5, 0, 6, 0. Here I will get the row number. So how does it work? HLOOKUP budget ka value. I am searching in this column. In this column, I'll search where will I get the budget. After I select budget, I will give the row number. So row number Shawshank Redemption ka is 2. Okay. So how HLOOKUP will work? HLOOKUP A2, this budget ka value within A1 to K251, the entire range, and the row number I have to give is 2, 0. Why? Because Shawshank Redemption is in row number 2. Everything becomes transposed. Whatever you are searching for within the column, you will search for within rows. Column index ki jagah you will give row index. Okay. Why is HLOOKUP used? If the number of columns is very high and the number of rows is low, then we use HLOOKUP. Right? Now, another question is, if my movie is The Dark Knight, Dark Knight may I have to calculate again budget and release date. So what will I do? I will search for A2 in my data range and get 4, 0. What is 4? Why 4, 0? Dark Knight is in row number 4. Okay. Clear?
So, Sahil, we can say VLOOKUP we have used to find the values of the column, and whereas HLOOKUP we are using to find the values of the row.
Yes, you can say that.
Okay, and there is one question regarding the last we have used for the VLOOKUP. Do we need to freeze the data for this table as well, where we are returning the year of the movie release, or if the movie is not found for NF? So we need to freeze the data as well for this, right? Or
Yes.
will it work?
Yes, we should freeze. Because we have multiple other movie names, na? So it is best if we do freeze.
Okay.
So what will we freeze? A1 to D251 we should freeze. Here also this value we should freeze.
Whatever the range we are giving, that range we need to freeze in both the places.
Yes.
Sure. Thank you.
Because why, and do understand why. We need to freeze the range, because if I go
It
down,
will be vary if we are going down, so it should find into the whole table or the whole range.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Clear everyone? HLOOKUP and VLOOKUP. See, 90% of the cases we use VLOOKUP only. If the number of columns are very high, number of rows are less, we will transpose the raw data itself in most cases. Because HLOOKUP is slightly difficult to visualize. Slightly difficult, right? But I hope it is clear how we use it. Okay. So
One doubt, in every use case of VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP, the table array range, generally it should be freezed.
See, if you want to extract only one column, then it doesn't matter whether you freeze or not.
Okay.
If you want to, let's say here, in this
Like,
case,
I started exploring it yesterday, and as many I was doing, in every case, I had to freeze it.
So for example, here, if you see, if the number of values you want to extract is only 1, okay, inception is the only data point you need to get, then freezing doesn't make sense, because you don't need to drag this formula, right?
Yes, correct. Yes.
But if it is a range like this, then it is best to freeze. Okay.
Understood. Yes.
All right, now we will come to another set of functions, index and match. Has anyone worked on index match before? Just trying to evaluate whether I should start from the scratch or
Start from scratch.
okay. Okay. So this is the last function we will cover before we break. Okay. Now, two functions. First, we will discuss index. Index will give us the value on a particular row and particular column in the input array. Index, for using index, you will have to give what column, what row you want to get the output for, and it will extract basically whatever information is there on that location. So you're feeding the location within your input string. If you look at this, find the movie in the first column and the 12th row. So first column, 12th row. This is our raw data, A1 to 2, K251. Now remember this, A1 to K251. This is our entire range. First column, 12th row. So first we give the row number 12 and then we give the column number. So in our raw data, A1 to K251, this entire data set, row number 12, column number 1. What is at the intersection? Forest Gump, right? So I am giving exactly the coordinates of whatever data I want to extract. Clear? 3 arguments. What is the data range? What is the row number? What is the column? Simple. Okay. Okay. If you would have noticed, column number is optional here, right? So if I don't select column number, okay, I have to give them, okay, some errors maybe. Okay, anyway, let me see. Then it should not have said it is optional. Okay, it is not optional, mandatory. Both the values you need to give. Another question is find the rating in the second column and 29th row. Again, 29 is the row number and column number is 2. What is the value? 8.6. So 29 and 2. Row 29 and column number 2. 8.6 is my value which I am searching for. Now do remember these values 29 to, it depends on this raw data A1 to B31. If I selected, I am calculating 29th row in A1 to B31, the second column in this range. But here, let us say I try to be smart and I do 32. What will happen? It will throw an error. Why? This 32 searches for this data. There is no row number 32 in this A1 to B31. So that is why it will throw an error. So whatever values you are inputting here, they are bound by this range. Okay, had this been in the first example, if you see, first example mein Forest Gump. Why did I get Forest Gump in 12th row and first column? Because I started from A1, right? I started from A1 to K251. In this entire range, the position is 12. What if I had done A2? A2 to K251, 12, 1. What is the output I get? Lord of the Rings 2 Towers. Where is it? Lord of the Rings 2 Towers.
13.
It is in row number 13. But I have given row number 12. I got the 13th row because I started my range from A2 itself. Right? So from second row, it will take whatever 12th. So it will be 13th row in my raw data. So do remember, whatever you are doing here depends on what range you have selected. Okay? Don't make this mistake. It is A10, 251 and you eventually want to get to the 12th row. So there you need to say 2, 1. Right? I hope this is clear and I hope you have seen this movie. One of the greatest movies of all time. I think it should have been higher, but no.
So row and column are kind of relative positions.
Yes, relative positions of the data range you have selected.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Clear, everyone? Now you can say, what is this function? I only need to give the row number. I only have to give the column number. The end user has to make so much effort, right? Here is when comes the impact of match. So match function and index function are used together. Okay, how does it work? If you look at match, what is the uh, syntax? Match this value, match the output of match. If you see, match gives you the row number or the column number. Okay, the output of match will be either an error or an integer. Okay. Yes, Abhay, I think I don't know why it is throwing an error for this. For index function, okay. Okay, we'll discuss this later. Huh. So if I want to find Shawshank Redemption's row number, what I will do, I will give the name of the movie here and match this value with this data range A1 to A251, comma 0. 0 means exact match. It is similar to VLOOKUP, right? What am I searching for? This value I'm searching within the first column of my raw data. What is A1 to A251? It is the first column of my raw data, right? So match A2 to this raw data column and give the exact match. It will give me the position of the movie. Shawshank Redemption ka we have seen the position is, the row number is 2. Okay. I hope this is clear, everyone. Similarly, I can also try to get the column number of match using match. How? If I want to find the column number of domestic gross. So domestic gross, I will match this value data A1 to K1. What does it mean? It will search for this value within the first row of my raw data. First row is the header row with all the column names, comma 0 means exact match. So it will give me the column number where domestic gross has been stored, right? So someone is asking, is there a way to not worry about the column numbers in VLOOKUP? So you can use match in VLOOKUP also. Okay. So if you have, again, the other thing is, if you notice in match, I can only give either a complete column like this use case, or I can give a complete row like this use case. I cannot give 2 columns or 2 rows. So if I do try to do that, if I do A1 to K1 ki jagah, if I do A1 to K2, I am selecting 2 rows. What will happen? An error. You cannot do that. Either a complete row or a complete column. Okay.
Can we go to the base sheet and see how the range is A1 to K1 is there?
A1 to K1 is this. A1 to K1. So match the second one, the second function, when it is searching for domestic gross. What I have said, search for this value within this data range, comma 0, exact match. Exact match for domestic gross in this data range. So where is it? Column number 7. So that is the value I am getting here, 7.
Okay, can we get that issued with column number G instead of?
Sorry?
Can we get that as a column name is G? Can we get that? Because again, we have to go and count the 7 columns.
You don't need to count, na? Here. You're already getting the 7 value. Right? You just need to know the name of the column.
Yeah, I need to know the name of the column. Can we get here G here?
G means? Acha, okay, got it. You are saying this one, the count of ratings?
No. Domestic gross header, we have A, B, C, D columns.
Acha, G, domestic gross. Huh?
Can we
Okay.
get the cell name like?
Domestic gross. So if I do, अच्छा, okay, वो भी चाहिए अब. अरे, where
No,
does it
no.
stop?
No, we are asking how the things are coming here means.
So if you see here, na, in this VLOOKUP. So population, you know that this is the population. Okay, two prerequisites to VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP. One is your data should be non-duplicated. It means if you are searching for India in this range, then India should be only once, right? Otherwise, it can select values at random. Okay. That is one prerequisite to using either VLOOKUP or HLOOKUP or index or match. The second is the column names should be proper. That if you are searching for population here, population as a column value should be there in your raw data. I think that is the question you are alluding to, Neda. Okay, what if you don't know the column name itself?
Exactly.
That you need to know. Otherwise, what will you match against? Right? So the prerequisite is that whenever the data is structured, the column names should be consistent. One data set should have whatever, let's say, customer ID or country name. So that country name, whenever it exists, the name of that column should be country underscore name. Okay. If you are if you don't know what column you need to search, then it is a lost cause. Right?
Okay, Sahil, one question. I don't know whether it should be related or not. If we have a filter on a data, can we use this function with the filters or the list? If we are using a list, so can we use this function?
Whatever filter you have created, you can use it with filter. I mean, if the filtered value you have and you are using it, it might work differently with the filter. So it is advised that
but here again the condition comes, as you have said, data should not be duplicated. So if we are using a filter, then there are the chances there will be the multiple values which will be used. A single value will be used multiple times as we are using the filter.
What does it mean?
Sorry,
I didn't get the question.
I'm saying, can we use the sheet which has the filter? As you have told, the data should not be duplicated. This should be the first condition when we are using the VLOOKUP and the HLOOKUP. So when I'm saying that I'm using a filter and it has a 4 filter, a column A or a B, it has a 4 filter and the data has a number of 50 or 60. So there are the chances that data will be repeated because we have only 4 filters. The filter values will be repeated into the cell.
Not really getting the question.
Not getting my point.
If you can like state like what filter after filtration, what kind of values you would have. Like suppose you are putting up a filter on year. Let's say year is 2000, and you have put up a filter. So all the rows having 2000 as the release year would come up. Now based on that, how what duplicate value are you saying that all the values in the column release year would be 2000 and then those are duplicate values or something else? I'm also trying to understand the question.
Maybe I'm not able to explain my question well. Suppose if
we'll take it, Nida, we'll take it in the next one because we are running out of time for this one. Okay, but you can park it for the next session. We will have some time there. Okay. By duplicate, I meant that these values should not be duplicate. Now, whatever filter we create, year or budget, that filter, let's say I create a filter greater than 2000. So even with that filter being applied here, movie names will remain unique, na? So that will not be a problem, I think, is what you were trying to ask. But anyway, we'll discuss this later also.
Sorry, I'm sorry to interrupt. Like we are, no, the context of duplication came right while I was going through the learning materials. What I remember was the first exact match of that. You know, if two Indias are there, the first match will be taken as, and that result will be given.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that is not an ideal scenario to be in, right? You don't know how the data has been ordered. So if India is mentioned twice, in most of the cases, it will be a data ingestion issue. If you are already having a country level data set, then one country should not be repeated, right? That will violate the primary key, right?
Yeah, yes.
But if there is a duplicate, then you will have limited control on what gets matched. Whatever value comes first will be matched. There are ways to perform that matching also. You can do it on the basis of descending value, ascending value, whatever, but it is error prone.
Okay. Actually, what I was referring is they showed a menu of a coffee shop thing, and like cappuccino, they had in two rows. We had cappuccino, large. The sizes will be right. So what they explained is the in second row it was repeating, the fifth row it was repeating, but in the second row the amount of the large and small were more, and the fifth row the large and small amounts were less. But if you search the first whatever the second row was coming, that only it will fetch and give you the result. That's what they told.
Then it means whatever column you are searching for is not the primary key. In that case, if the primary key is a combination of the title and the size, then you should first concatenate these two, then look up with the concatenated value.
Okay.
Right? Concatenate the name and the size, create one column, and when you are looking up, in your lookup also it should be the name of the drink and the size. Only then you do the lookup. Right?
Okay. Yes.
Okay. Now coming back, column number of domestic gross we are also able to get, right? So remember, in match, the output has to be an integer. Match will either give you row number or column number depending on this range you have given. If you give A1 to K1, something like this, it will give you the column number. If you give an entire column, it will give you the row number. So you can customize how you want to use it. If you want to calculate row number, change the range. If you want to use column number, change the range accordingly. Okay. So how are index and match functions used together? So it is something like this. Index, you will give the array. Match 1 will give you the row number. Output of match 2 will give you the column number. So if you remember, we did something like this. Index, array 12, 1, right? When we had Forrest Gump as the result. Here. A1, 2, right? Forrest Gump as the result 12, 1 हमने दिया था, if you remember, right? So index, you give the array. Match 1 will be giving us 12. Match 2 will be giving us this. So this is how index and match functions are used in conjunction with each other. Okay. And we will do one use case, which is this. Where is it? So if you have a list of movies and these are not duplicated, if you have a list of movies like this, you want to get, you have these columns: rating, release date, count of ratings, budget, and all. One way is to simply use a VLOOKUP, right? Then you will have to do 2, 0, 5, 0, 10, 0, whatever, right? One way is to use VLOOKUP normally. The other way is to use VLOOKUP with match. right? So I'll just show you these two basic things. Then after the break, we will discuss. We look up A2 data A1 to K251. Column index is, I think rating is 2, 0. So we will get the rating of 12 angry men. That is one way. Now 2, 0 I can do. Release date is in column number 4. I will do 4, 0. I will do 6, 0, whatever. I can use like this. The other way I can do it is by using match in column index number. What will I say? Match. Tell me. Lookup value is what?
Rating.
B1 has rating out of 10. I will search for B1 in my data. What is the data? A1 to K1, 0. So my screen is frozen. That signals that we are out of time right now. We will discuss this in the next session because it will take some time. Okay, it will take around 20 minutes. Yes, Prem, you had a question? I think in that case, you will have to change your raw data. First, get the aggregated values and then do it. So before you start lookup, there has to be only one value you are matching with. There might be some complex functions. I haven't heard of any function which can do that so far. Okay. Okay. So I wanted to discuss this view with you also, but we are out of time, which is okay. So we'll meet back at 2 p.m. and we will start with this example. How do we use VLOOKUP with match, and how do we use VLOOKUP, or how we use index and match to get this out? Okay. So I will launch the poll. Please give in your feedback, and we will meet back at 2 p.m. So there we will discuss this example. We will discuss XLOOKUP. We will discuss conditional formatting, and we will also discuss what if analysis. Okay.
And you'll be sharing that Excel
Hmm.
right now.
I will share.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
All right. Thank you everyone for joining. We couldn't cover everything we intended, but it's okay. We'll cover in the next session. We have some extra time there.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you for the session.
Thank you everyone.
Thank you.